We are live. It's been a long time since I've done this. I'm trying to remember how to do everything. Wow. It's been, I don't even know how long since our last live. I think our last interview was with Paper Bag Nomad. Um, and I think there's a break before that. Um, but yeah, it's been a while. It's kind of crazy, actually. But yes, we are back to doing our lives. We still need to figure out a proper day to do our lives, a proper time to do our lives, and all that kind of stuff. So we are going to be doing our lives now as a front row live. Reason that saying that actually is we are changing it up a little to do a little bit more for our lives. Um, Before our lives were more based on van life, overlanding, adventures type of stuff, but kind of more van life. So we are switching things around where we're doing more overlanding, more van life, more adventure, more of that kind of stuff. Not the van life stuff, but there's van lifers that are overlanding. But we're going to go past that. We're going to go into another realm, if that sounds weird. We are going to be talking to actors and producers, musicians, WWE wrestlers, drag queens, a whole bunch of different things of people that I know throughout my life. And interviewing people like that. We'll be talking to musicians that you know, producers that have done movies you know, actors you know, um, wrestlers you know, all these kind of things, uh, which will make this really unique and different. And that's the reason for the Front Row Live, where it's not just about overlanding or van life or adventure. Um, it's about a wide variety of things, and talking to magazine editors, people that are former actresses and stuff like that as well. So that's kind of what Front Row Live will be about. I see Dan's in the house. Nice to meet you, Dan. Too bad you couldn't have made it down to Oregon 22. That would have been really cool to see you down there. Anjay, nice to meet you again. I can't wait to see those little pug puppies when you get those. And I might just have to swing down to Oregon to steal one or two. But yeah, it's been hot here. Right now it's dropping. It's 79 Fahrenheit. But last night was so hot. Tosha was lying on the bed on her back. The fan is blowing, so she could get her belly all cooled down. So it was kind of funny that way. Charlie Grace is in the house. Hey, Charlie Grace. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Cookie, welcome. Just finished up with supper. Awesome. I just tried to drop Cayden off at Taekwondo. And it's weird because I'm pointing that way, but it's pointing that way. That makes sense. But you're probably, anyway, never mind. It's been a while, or as people would say, it's been a minute since I've done a live. And doctor's care. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Dan. Hope she's going to be okay. Yeah, 022, we were only there for 3 days. And it rained the whole time, thanks to Ray. But next time, I do want to take a bit longer. I do want to go up along the coast. I do want to do a bit more exploring, so maybe do a week or something like that. Let's see if I can drag my wife along. That might not happen, but we'll see. But I just enjoy the adventure, and that's what it's about. So Front Row Live is going to be a new format for our lives. It's going to be something a little bit different. Now, part of what I've done in the past is I've dealt with different networks. I've dealt with different producers. I've dealt with different actors. I've dealt with different singers and wrestlers and all these kind of people, from magazines to actresses. Some are still friends of mine. Some have been in some big movies, some smaller shows, whatever it might be. I'm going to bring them into the live. I'm going to be sitting down with them, chatting with them. And I always try to figure out how to do that. Now, this is more about my life, not about Vancity Adventure. It's more of my past and my life now, too. Because a lot of these people are still friends. I've lost contact with a lot of agents and casting directors. But I still have certain friends out there, producers, that I still communicate with, that I can shoot an email to, and that we can chat. I got a good friend of mine who does a lot of the fashion shows in New York. Sit down and we'll chat with him. I got an old business partner of mine who's now a drag queen. Sit down and talk to him. I've got friends that are musicians from former groups, that will sit down and talk with them. Wrestlers from WWE. The list goes on and on and on and on. So, a pro wrestler, Charlie Grace, you never know. Like I remember being in an event in Florida, Hulk Hogan being there, his daughter being there. She just started singing. She was 15 years old. There was this young kid there, Aaron Carter. That's what. Just young, and to see these people grow up now to what they were back then, kind of makes you feel old, but it's kind of neat to see as well. From what they started to where they are now, or to where they aren't now. Sorry, Brooke. Brooke started off singing. Then she kind of got more into the wrestling, and I have no clue what she's up to now. But bringing some of these people in, chatting with them, I think is going to be a lot of fun. Knowing a lot of these characters for a while, I know that we can have a lot of laughs. And that's what I'm looking forward to, is having something different and unique. We have all these lives that are about van life, overlanding. I want to mix it up, and that's what I'm doing. I've always said I like to keep it real. I don't want BS, and this channel, there is no BS. I tell it like it is. Sometimes this is not very pretty. Sometimes, the language might be off, but I'm keeping it real. And I think that's important. I try not to swear. I used to have a really, really bad mouth from being in construction. My hardest thing is to not swear. It slips out, especially when I'm frustrated or whatever it might be. And my hardest thing is to try not to. So I try not to. But if it happens, it happens. It's part of life. It's part of the situation, whatever it may be. So that's what this live is going to be about. And changing things up, doing things unique, and being creative is what we're about. That is what Vancity Adventure is. Being different. People get stuck on the van city. We do not live in a van. We are not a van dweller. If you want to call it truck life, you want to call it overlanding life, whatever it might be. But we live in a sticks and bricks house. And our adventures are adventures that my son, my dog, myself, sometimes my wife, and I do. Usually she's working on the weekends, and that's usually when we adventure. But if we do a vacation, she's there. If she's not, then there's an issue. So these are the ventures that we do as a family, as a group, whatever it might be. Tried being a sailor for 8 years in the military and a few more in private sector. That would be very interesting. Charlie Grace, I love different kind of lives. My live tonight is about hot topics and having a great discussion. Great discussions are important. Discussions that are make you think. We get so many discussions or people nowadays that, we're not talking about politics. We're not talking about pandemic. We're not talking about the latest bill that was dropped. We're not talking any of that stuff. Sometimes you need to. Not all the time, but sometimes you need to. And for me, having a bit of a, I don't know if you want to call it a reality check, whatever it was. The day that my dad passed and I was filming, you can see that video. That video, I kept on saying, I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know if I'll even show this. That video was very hard to do. But from doing that video, my email has been swamped. I've had so many people email me saying thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for being open and honest. A lot of people didn't know how to grieve. A lot of people have just gone through the same thing. A lot of people have needed an outlet. And the amount of emails I had on that was just, it blew me away from everyone saying thank you. And I'm going, but for what? I mean, for me, that was painful. But if I'm helping somebody else, I think that's what's important. My dad's helping somebody else. Today's my dad's birthday, or would have been my dad's birthday. So it's kind of fitting to start this live series today. I don't know if I'll keep it on Mondays. I got to pick a day. I got to see what day works for people. Whether it's this time period, whether we do a Friday or a Monday or a Tuesday or a Thursday, I don't know. I've got to figure that out with you guys. With my dad passing, it's been a huge eye-opener. For people who don't know how to deal with death, don't know what to do. My wife and I were talking, and I talked to my mother-in-law, and she doesn't have a lot of things set up either, like my dad didn't. So doing things where we have things set up. It's going to get loud here in a second. Doing things like that where we are helping educate people, I think is important. I did a little TikTok. The hardest thing for me was when we went to the hospitals we were going there to see my dad. But when we arrived is when we were told that he had passed. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have brought my son. The hardest thing for me was to see him break down. His grandpa meant everything to him, and vice versa. When I went through my dad's phone, all the pictures of Cayden I was just blown away. And I was reading Dad's email. Yeah, I'm still cleaning stuff up. My dad had downsized because when my mom and dad sold the house, they bought an RV and they wanted to travel. So they traveled. They went through the U.S. They spent time down in Arizona, up in Creston, up in Canada here, down in California and Oregon. They spent a lot of time. They spent a couple of years down there, traveling back and forth and all over. And my mom was diagnosed with cancer. And 2007 or 2006, they came back up. 2007, my wife and I were married. My mom was sick at that time. And 2008, she passed. My dad continued to live in the RV for 12 years, I think, after that. And finally, he sold the RV and moved into a room. So he had already kind of downsized. He had a storage locker, he had his room, and he had his car. Storage locker was packed. His room was packed. His car was packed. A lot of it's in my garage right now. I've gone through tons and tons and tons of stuff. Giving stuff away to Value Village. Shredding paperwork that was from 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, some 60, 70 years ago. I found paperwork, an old permit, a building permit that my grandpa had to build the house that my grandma and grandpa had. And that was, what was the date on it? I can't remember. It was $20 for the permit. Not nowadays. It's absolutely crazy. But I thought that was cool. So going through each paperwork, seeing what to keep, what not to keep. I had 3 boxes of stuff to shred. Got 1 box shredded. I think my shredder will be toast by the time I'm done this. But shredding the important stuff that's not important is taking a lot of time. Closing accounts, making sure all credit cards are done, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of work. Making sure that the will is not in a safety deposit box, because you need your will to get into safety deposit box. So all these little things. But anyway, I digress. But it's been a learning experience. And I've always liked when I'm learning. I say education is power. And if you're not learning, you're dead. So I think it's important to learn. I will never say that I know it all. I might have ways of doing things different than others. I might have a better way of doing things. I might not. So someone can show me a different way of doing something. I'm willing to learn. Yeah. But this channel is going to be all of the stuff from my past, from design, having my graphic design company when I first started in 1993. My grandma passed. She left me a bit of money. I bought a computer and started designing. I was fresh out of film school, and I've always liked to design, and I started my own graphic design company. Then I started a marketing company. And then I was doing other odds and end jobs as well. So I ended up, I'm still doing construction for a friend of mine. Then I moved to another person. I then started my production company. We did a fitness event. And then I started my entertainment company where we did concerts. We did a Terry Clark concert, country music. We did a Jason McCoy concert, country music. We did a Aaron Pritchett concert, country music. I ended up co-producing a local TV show, where we interviewed Katie Lang, Farmer's Daughter. Trying to remember everybody. We had a couple big fashion shows that we were at and filmed. I ended up having a model that I sent off to Europe, who made it really big. She ended up having her own TV show for a while. I, at that point, started my modeling agency, where I had girls that went off to Asia, Bangkok. I had ads, TV commercials, all that kind of stuff. And I did that for a number of years, scouted all through the US and Canada and overseas. Sold the agency, kept the entertainment side of it. We did another fitness event in 2010. In the meantime, I was writing for Miss Fitness magazine as a special features editor. And I got to interview a lot of interesting people there as well. People from Playboy, Survivor, tons of different people. Then I got out of that again, got back into construction, and started basically at the bottom with construction, built my way back up. And started managing a soccer arena. Soccer arena ended up closing. The main owner wasn't paying the bills. It was the only Canadian office there was, or arena. The rest were down in Seattle. We used to do weekend trips to Seattle all the time for meetings. So I got to really know Seattle very well. That was actually a bit before. I missed that one. After that closed, I started managing a gym in Vancouver. And I moved to Vancouver, had a cool little apartment. And then the landlord for that wanted to jump the rent up almost double. He's already paying 40 grand a month for the space that he had. It was a big space, basketball net, the women's only, the tanning area, the offices, the cardio area, the weights. There was a lot to that gym. But he decided to shut it down. He has started 2 other ones. At that point, I was just, kind of tired of it. So I ended up going back and wanted to combine some of my skills for management and construction. So I started working for a new home builder. The project manager was psycho, absolutely nuts. So I was done in, I think, 3 months, maybe 6 months. I don't remember. It wasn't very long. It might have been 6 months. I went over and started working for another new home builder. I was there for 5 years. I think I built over 300 single-family homes. Well over that, probably about 400 in that span. And I was trying to think. Yeah, it's probably about 400. From there, I went and started doing renovations, and then I got asked to be a project manager. Well, I was a project manager when I was doing renovations. I got asked to be a project manager on another project. The owner had left, one of the owners had left, and I ended up coming in to rebuild the company. The one remaining owner that was there said it wasn't, there was no money yet. I'm like, well, no, I'm rebuilding it. So I think we were about 3 months in. I said, give me a few more months here. So he gave me a month. And he's like, no, this isn't going to work. He said, I'll sell it to you for 40 grand. And I was like, no, there's nothing to buy for 40 grand. I said, I'll give you my last check. But you have to still pay me, and I'll pay you back in 1 year for the date that you give it to me. He sold it for that last check. I paid him back in a year. In that year, I built the company up. And since then, I've been building and building and building that company. I ended up rebranding it in 2013. 2014, I incorporated it, and I've been building that company ever since. COVID hit, and I had all my guys on one job. It was $1 million job. We had a heritage home. We were lifting the home. We had an addition to do. We had a full foundation to do. The bank wouldn't give them their mortgage until it was sitting on a foundation. So we had a promissory note on that. COVID hit. They lost their jobs. They didn't pay their bills. So I kept on after them. The bank. It's coming. But because they didn't have a job, they had to get a letter saying they were going to get their job was secure. Supposedly they got that, according to my emails, and still there was no payment. So finally I said, I need to know when I can lien this thing. So I liened it. Bank sold it, didn't pay any liens. So now I have to deal with lawyers and stuff to get my money for that job. But that left me with no work, no guys. I had to lay everyone off and to go scrambling to build up the jobs again. So that was fun. Now I have too much work. But because of COVID and everything that happened, that's when we started Vancity Adventure. And that was to keep my mind going. Because I'm a bit of a workaholic. I worked from 5 a.m. till 5 p.m. every day. And I wouldn't take a break. COVID hit. I was working maybe 2-3 hours a week to find the jobs. When we had the jobs, then I had a bit of work. I had to hire guys, do the job, but it wasn't like before. So Vancity Adventure was created to keep me sane, to get out and explore, to go back to my roots of growing up. Growing up, I used to camp all the time with my parents. And Brendan, who, if you haven't checked his channel out, Boondocking Bros, and Shelby, the two brothers, our families used to go do a ton of stuff. And we grew up camping and boating and motorcycling and adventuring all over BC, Canada, the US. So I've kind of gone back to how I grew up for Cayden, to start seeing some of this stuff and exploring and to learn. And he loves it. And that is what's really unique and cool to me. Traveling to different places. When I met my wife, she had never been anywhere besides local. And first place I ever took her to Iceland. It's a long flight, by the way. Took her to Blue Lagoon, where I proposed. I loved Iceland. Since then, we've been to a few different other countries. I still want to explore other countries, but she's stuck on Mexico. I prefer to try some other countries and start exploring some other different parts of the world as well. Not just the comfortableness of, if that's even a word, of just Mexico. But getting out and exploring, I think, is a huge part and helps keep me grounded in a lot of ways. When I first started modeling, I became very stuck up. And I had a lot of fun. Fashion show after fashion show after fashion show. It was a blast. The girls you got to meet, and you got to be comfortable with your body, because half the time you're standing there naked, getting changed or whatever it was. Um, but yeah, I finally ended up grounding myself, and I don't remember how, that I wasn't better than anybody else. And when I had my agency, I had to teach them the same thing. You're no better than anybody else. You have something special. You look good, or your body proportions are good. You have a talent. I wasn't into the sending girls away that were too skinny. That really bugged me. I remember sitting with a casting director one time from MTV, and we were sitting there, and this one girl comes by, and she's wearing a crochet top and no bra underneath. You can see right through it. And the casting director beside me, she looks at me and she's just like, "What the hell?" She turns to the girl and she's like, "Go put a shirt on and come back." So the girl did. I, you know, you hear the casting couch. I've seen it so many times at these events. I've told so many girls not to do what they feel is necessary. I got asked many times as well. I'm like, no, that's not your way into the business. I got kind of got disgusted with the industry, is why I got out of it. I do miss it, but I got disgusted with it, and I tried my changes, but I was one person, and when I've written 4 TV shows. One TV show I had production ready. I had my producer, I had my actress. My producer was Tim Gibbons, who did all the Ripley's shows and stuff like that. My first actress was Jerry Hollowell from Spice Girls, but she backed out, and I was after Ashley Judd. I had Ashley Judd for, I forget how many, I think it was 1 or 2 million. This goes back a number of years ago. This is 2000. I think I had her for 1 or 2 million a year. I can't remember now. I'd have to look back. But I sent this out to a few people, and I sent it out to a company in Canada. They wanted me to sign away my rights on it, and I said no. So they took the idea and ran with it on their own, under a different name and under different way than I would have done it. But I know that the idea came from me. Another TV show, and that show's still going today. Another show I sent off to a casting director who sent it to somebody else, and then that show ended up happening, but I didn't get anything from it. That one went worldwide, and $1 billion show. I talked to an entertainment lawyer, and they basically said, "Well, you're both in the same business. There's nothing we could have done." I was young. If I would have known any better, I would have still fought it. Even if I had 1% of any of those profits, I'd be set. But I don't respect people that steal ideas. And I think she has another show coming out now, but I don't respect her. And it was a modeling show. That's all I'm going to say. You can figure it out from there. I have 2 more shows that I've never given to anybody. I still have them written down. I still have them copyrighted. I would love to do those 2 shows, but those shows just sit in my file. I've had no luck with shows getting ripped off and stuff like that. That was kind of the whole production thing. I spent a lot of time in LA, dealing with different production companies, dealing with Paramount and Universal for locations. I was at Universal. I forget who was filming. There was some music group filming a music video for one of them. I can't remember. I was talking to them. I wasn't into rap, so I don't know who it was. But my life has been very busy, very creative, very adventurous. And I want to bring that to this live and introduce you to some of these people, these casting directors, these fashion designers, these producers, these actors, these actresses, these wrestlers, these TV stars, musicians, whoever they might be. I want to introduce you to these people, whether they're still active or not. That doesn't matter. One lady I was friends with, I met her. I ended up working with her at Miss Fitness magazine. She was my editor. I was the special features editor. We met many times. And I didn't know that, she had a whole TV career. I didn't know it till years later. I didn't realize she had been on the original V. I didn't realize all this stuff. Does it change how I am? No. I got a contractor friend. He has his own TV show, and people clamor to get his autograph, to see him, to drool on him. Even other contractors. Well, I can sit there and have a normal conversation with him about family and our kids and everything like that. I like to keep it real. I'm not going to be starstruck. To me, it's just, they're people. They're people that get paid more, but they're people. And that's, I think, the important thing is to show people that they are people. And that's what I want to do with this live, is introduce you to these people and have some fun. My son did some acting classes I think it was a year or two ago. And his acting coach, which is a local actor and has his own school, Michael Bean, he really nice guy. And it was during COVID, and I reached out to an actress friend of mine who was on SWAT and a bunch of other TV shows that she was on. And I reached out to her and said, do you want to do this live for the kids? She said yes. And she was late, which is fine. God bless you, Amy. You're a sweetheart. But to have the kids asking her, well, it wasn't just kids, there was adults in there, but having them ask her questions about her career and how she got into it and what she had to do, I thought was really cool. It brought her down to their level. And that's what got me thinking on this whole thing, is everybody had to start somewhere. Unless you're a royal and you're born into it, everybody had to start somewhere. And a lot of people had to work and work hard. And that's one thing Amy talked about. She worked hard. She worked for these roles. She'd do a TV show and it wouldn't get picked up. She'd do another pilot and it wouldn't get picked up. She'd do these pilots and they wouldn't get picked up, or they wouldn't get renewed. And it starts taking a toll on you. Like, when's this going to happen? And that's what I want to chat to people about. Talk to Amy about that. Talk to Jackie about singing. Talk to Jason about singing. Talk to Rick about singing. Talk to these different people about their different careers and what made them and what made them decide not to do it anymore, or to continue with it, or what they would have done differently. So that's what this will be about. I'm looking forward to it. If you have a preference on day and time, let me know, because I'm still trying to figure that out. I want to know if today's better. 5 o'clock is okay. Or do we do Tuesday at 6:30? 6:30 to 7:30. Or do we do Thursday 6:30 to 7:30? Or do we do Friday from um, 5 to 6, or 5:30 to 6:30, or 6 to 7? I don't know. That's what we need to figure out. And one of my favorite people for YouTube. This lady gives her whole heart in what she does. She's a God-fearing lady. If I could meet her right now, I would give her the biggest hug. It's Box Vancity. Box Vancity just came into the chat. Love you, Box Vancity. Happy birthday. I know I'm just a bit late. I did send you a message on that too. Dee is an absolute sweetheart. Maybe it's from her growing up in this area, down in Washington. But she headed for the sun, and I don't blame her. But she's an absolute sweetheart. And it's people like that, people like Dee, that make you see the good side in YouTube world. There is a lot of crap out there. There's a lot of BS out there. There's a lot of people that are trying to blow smoke up your rear end. I have always said I like to keep it real. Dee keeps it real. And Dee is somebody that a lot of people can look up to. Her struggles, her fight, and to where she is now. That is a role model. We love you, Dee. Thank you so much. And V is in the house, a fellow Canadian. Hello, V. Welcome. V's usually got a live on Monday morning. No. What's today? Monday. Yeah, so Monday mornings and Thursday, is it, V? Correct me if I'm wrong. And then you have an afternoon show as well. I can't catch everybody's lives. I just saw that, D. Enough already. I'm blushing. I would love to see you blush, D. You are an amazing lady, and I wish there were more people like you. I really do. The world will be a much better place. I know many people agree with that. Yeah, so Thursdays, V has 2 lives, one in the morning, one in the afternoon and evening, and one on Monday. That's right. Exactly what V just said about D. Get that one confused. It's people like D that deserve the praise. There's a lot of people out there that don't deserve it. They're in it for the wrong reasons as well. And when I see people, D reminds me a lot of my dad. And how, I don't mean any disrespect, D, but they can be very stubborn. But that's not a bad thing. They keep pushing forward. They keep trying to find new solutions. If something doesn't work, they figure it out. And for me, that is what has helped me as a person grow and helped me as a person to become who I am. And that's what makes people like D very special. I won't say any more, D, because I don't want to embarrass you anymore. But we love you. Cayden is in Taekwondo right now. Today is Monday, so he has weapons today. So he does nunchucks and staff. He's going to be getting into sword soon. He's pretty good with his staff. Like, give him a lightsaber and he can have that thing all over the place. I will tell Cayden though, and every time he sees you on a live, he's like, "Say hi to Granny D for me." But you've got so many people in there that it's impossible to see everything. So, but he does. He loves when he sees you. So, but that's what we're doing as far as front row goes. We will be talking about a ton of different stuff, talking to people, talking to different people that I respect and who have an impact on us. And that might include people like D. That might include different people as well on the YouTube side that I respect. And it might include friends. I don't know. I've grown up with some people that are pretty big on YouTube. I've grown up with people that are in TV and film. So who knows? I don't know where this journey will take us. I don't know where this live will take us. But I was talking to, what's her name? Gloria from Glorious Life on Wheels, I think it was. And we had a really in-depth chat. And that's why I'm getting back to my lives. So I can get more in contact with you guys. I enjoy my production stuff. And I enjoy producing what I do. But the lives is where I get to know each of you better. And I want to bring that back. I kind of got turned off from it from a few people on YouTube. And it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. But after talking to Gloria, I feel differently. I refocused it, and I think it's important. It's a way for us to get to know each other, for you to get to know me, for me to get to know you. And it's like, where is it here? Let's go to D's comment first. I enjoy watching people who keep it real. Exactly. There's no BS. Dan, Daryl, are your interviews going to be live with your guests? As much as possible, yes. I will try for all the interviews to be live. So if there's any questions, you guys can ask the questions to them. There might be some that will have to be pre-recorded. I don't know. But as much as possible, they will be live. Daryl, will you give out some written questions to your guests? I don't like writing out questions. I like just keeping it fresh. I tried that in the very beginning. And I got bogged down with these questions. Oh, I got to ask this question. Oh, I got to ask this question. And I would lose my focus. So I like to just kind of roll with it. So, if there's something that comes up, to go with that. To carry that question through. To ask a few other questions. And just to keep that ball rolling. I don't like anything to be so-called planned. I don't sit there and plan out what I say on any of my videos. I don't write things out. I don't plan things out. It just happens. So you get to see stuff the way it is. It's not planned. It's not fake. But I am going to do a video. It kind of goes to that. Just for the fun of it. Which I guess I should start because we're going into season 3 next week. And I'm excited that we're hitting season 3. We just reached our 500,000 views, which I think is amazing. I love it. And we're pushing forward. And that's the part that I love, is that we keep pushing forward. I missed your lives. Make it back. Okay, Cookie. Thanks. I enjoyed my meetup, meeting Cookie and Bree and our adventures that we did for Multnomah Falls in Oregon. I might have said that wrong. I apologize. But we had a blast. And it was a lot of fun to get to know Bree and Cookie away from O22. Going to O22 and meeting Anjay and Rat Pack and Ray and Dream on Wheels and Glorious Life on Wheels and so many other people, Gina and all these people, was a lot of fun. And the only thing was all the rain. I came from BC. I thought I was leaving the rain here, not to go to Oregon to get what we had. So, thank you, Dee. Meeting Anjay, talking about pugs, that was a lot of fun to me. Meeting other people that have had pugs, that was a lot of fun. We had a blast. And we're not stopping. It continues. And Dee, you can tell him in a second here.
Hi. I didn't see.
So Dee says to say hi to you from Granny D.
Oh, Grandma D.
Granny D.
Hi, Granny D.
Where are you? There you are. No. Come on.
What's this one?
I'm right here with you. Hello. We're both in the picture. There you go.
Yay.
Yeah, because YouTube.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the yes.
Thank
But
you.
that brings us to D says hi, Cayden.
Hi, Granny D.
V says hi, Cayden.
Hi, V.
And are you getting?
Is Granny alive?
I've got a thing that I'm working on. Let me know if you're interested. Doing a meetup for 2023 MX23. Mexico 23.
Mexico 2023.
So just something I'm working on. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But I've got to drive now. So I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming along on this journey with us. Coming to watch our new live and grab them all going by. For something that we're going to be trying is different. So I look forward to this ride. I hope you guys come along on the ride with us, and we'll see you soon. I'll figure out when the next one is, test out a few times, but thank you guys, and look forward to coming back to you live. Bye, all. Oh, the camera's right there, too. Not a good place for all the brand stuff to be. Whoop. And we're going to end this with this, I think.